the bodies of people being fed to these dogs and dog eating them and sitting, being frightened, knowing that if they see me, they will, bite me. I think I was so terrified.
So Rwanda was largely made up of two tribes. Can you explain the first moment where you really realized there was a difference between these tribes?
The first time that I really realized was a difference was when it was in 1990. I was in primary school, and our teacher asked us, "Are you a Hutu? Are you a Tutsi?" And you will raise up your hand. And I didn't really know what they were asking, so I didn't raise up my hand. I went back home, and they said, "Tomorrow don't come to school when you don't know your tribe." So that time when I was sent back home, my mom told me, "When they ask you next time, stand up in the Tutsi." So we were only about like 2 students or 3 in the class. And you have that feeling like, I am not wanted, I am not accepted. My classmates don't really like me because of how I was born, and I didn't have a choice about it. I didn't understand, why am I being called a cockroach? Why am I being bullied at school? Why do I have to be beaten or see people being beaten for being Tutsi? So those things were happening when I was growing up, and really it's the ideology, propaganda that was leading to genocide in 1994.
What was their goal, the Hutus?
I wish I could answer that question. Their goal was to exterminate every Tutsi. I remember sitting in the lounge with my dad and my 2 brothers, because my mom was away. She went to visit our grandparents, and she was with our last born, who was 2 years old then. And I said, "I'm not sure if your mom is going to get back. They are going to kill us because we are Tutsi." And he just gave us a briefing. He said, put on, we were already in our pajamas, ready to go to bed. And he said, "Put on your clothes, wear layers." So we had 2 layers each. And he said, "If you hide, don't hide together, because if you are together, they will kill you all." The next day, on the 7th in the morning, there were all these people running around the village. I remember hiding under the bed on that day. They came to our house, and my dad was not there because he went to hide. They say, "Where is the cockroach? Where is Inyenzi?" That's the word they used to use in Kinyarwanda. And they are talking about the soldiers that were fighting against them. I'm like, we don't know where they are. So on the same day, in the evening, I went to hide in the bush. And when I was hiding, I went, of course, our dad told us, "Don't hide together." So I went alone. And I was hiding in the bush and wandering around and waiting. I was lucky because I didn't have identity card. We used to have identity card in Rwanda that's written which tribe are you. So, and you don't get that ID until you are 18 or 16, I think. So I wasn't being asked the ID, so I will hide in front of people. But there's a lady who was walking, hiding, and she had a baby. And she had her ID, and she was just shown her ID, and they just cut her head off. She had a baby. I can't tell how old she was, but was so young because she was still feeding her. And walking, seeing this woman being killed and seeing the child sucking from its mother when it's dead, I was devastated. I could not pick her up. I wanted to, but I was so afraid to run around with this baby. And yeah, I just passed her and went and hid in the one of the house. You could hear outside, the noise and people running. Oh, find that. There are Tutsis passing. So people will be shouting because they saw someone. When it became about evening, I walked back to my place and I went and hid in my, what I call the safe place, because it was a pit latrine, which is a toilet with a hole that was completely full and no one was using, and I went back and sat there. Behind that pit latrine, there used to be a football field, and you will hear these Hutus sitting there. They are drinking. They had alcohol, and they were talking about how many Tutsis they have killed. Oh, we killed so-and-so. Oh, we raped so-and-so. And sitting there, I knew that if they see me, they will come and kill me. I was hiding in the bush, and people, Hutu, the killers, were running around saying, come out with the dogs. I did say they were with the dogs. The bodies of people being fed to these dogs and dog eating them and sitting, being frightened, knowing that if they see me, they will, bite me. I was so terrified. When I ran from that bush, I just ran, I will say like maybe 100 meters, and then I reached to the road. When I hear they're making noise and the dog running next to me, so I ran away and I fell into the road, and they saw me, said, come. So someone just came and beat me with the big stick they had. Those sticks were kind of big on the top, and they had nails on. I just fell into the hands of those people that waiting to be killing us. And they had, they will say, if you had money and you will give to them, they will kill you by shooting you. If you didn't, they will cut your head off. Some people, they will say, oh, I will give you this, forgive me, but they didn't even have that mercy to forgive. So they chopped people's head off in front of me and throw them in that big hole that was there. I was numb. I saw many people killed. I knew it was me next to be killed. So I wasn't really worried. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be killed. I was just like, yeah, that's what is happening. And it was only when there were two people ahead of me that someone shouted. I don't even remember who. I just heard a voice. They said the bank in Kigali is being broken in. They're robbing the bank. So all the killers around us, the attention was not on the people they are killing. They wanted to go and get money. I survived that day because of greedy of people. So they ran away to get money, and I ran off to the bush again and stayed there.
How long were you in the bush for?
So I was in the bush as much as 3 months. It was either in the church, which we were being killed, and I was hiding among the dead bodies. It was either in the pit latrine, I was by myself, I was in the field by myself, or I was on the queue to be killed. So those 3 months has been the longest horror nightmare that I have. Like, I feel like it lasted for eternity, if I may say, because when we talk about it now, we talk about 3 months, but for me, it lasted forever. I felt like it lasted forever because I was not safe at all.
I mean, you were only 12 years old as all of this was going on. What was going on in your head?
You know, when the death is all around you, there's nothing else you think apart from dying. I was numb. I was ready. I knew I would be killed anytime. And I saw people being killed many times. So I was just waiting to be killed. So I kept going until the last day of when I had, again, where we were hiding. I left where I was and I came to see my brother. He's there, he's hungry, and I just sat with him. And the next thing what I hear from the neighborhoods people, they are talking, Kigali has been liberated. And who liberated the country is the RPF. So that's when all the killers, all the people that they started running away from Rwanda and go to Congo. That was the end. That was the end. When you see RPF in Inkotanyi coming to you and saying, you are safe. I knew that I am in the good hands.
What happened to the rest of your family over those 3 months?
Yeah. So my brother, my youngest brother, was killed with my mom. And he was 2 years old. They dug under the ground and they built on top of that, so they will hide the children underneath. There was about 50 children there, so like under 2 who could not run, 3. So my youngest brother was among of those children that were hidden there. And the Hutu came, and when they saw one of the parents bringing food, found something and brought for those children. They poured paraffin on that place and they just lit to fire, and all these children were burnt, including my youngest brother. My third brother, who is Emil, was also killed during the genocide. I once was with him because they shot him the grenade, and he took part of his head, I was with him when he was grasping his last breath. I remember when he is asking me for water. I didn't have anything to give him, so that's my last day that I saw my brother being killed, gone, And my second brother, Antoine, he survived. And my dad didn't die, he also survived. But my 2 brothers and my mom were killed in genocide.
What impact does going through something like that, what sort of toll does that take on you?
It has been a long journey to go through these things, because I think what happened to me, your memory has capacity to kind of keep some information, and you don't think about them because you are not ready. I think that's what happened to me. At that time, we are talking about like 5 years, 6 years after genocide, 3 years, those time of period, 10 years, sometimes I will not be able to sit with people who are talking about their 3 months experience because it was so painful. And when it comes to April every year, and that's when I start feeling, my body will actually feel it, and I will have these memories. I will think of what I saw, but I just want to rush it off because I was not capable. I was 22 then, finished my high school, and I am out. I'm waiting the high school result to go to university. I don't have anything to do. The job I got was with Aegis Trust, and the job was they had a project 10 years after genocide to build what they call Kigali Genocide Memorial. So did I know what I was signing up for? Probably not. It took me back to those 3 months, because when I was doing my research going into the village was to know how many Tutsi family were living in this village, and how were they killed? And then my job was to feed back to the office because they are trying to build a data of what happened 10 years later. So that's the time, if I may say, 10 years after genocide, I was just like, I just woken up. These things happened to me. And then I lived that life again. The job gave me responsibility to deal with whatever was happening. And that's how I started. I started the journey of dealing with my trauma, but doing something, contributing to the society as well, giving dignity and respect to people we've lost, including my family.
And how are you today?
I am alive. Yes, how am I today? I am doing great. I am thriving. In 2004, I made a choice. I want to start this journey of forgiving. Is it easy? No, it has never been easy. And even now I speak about it, it's not easy. Sometimes people will intermarriage into Hutu and Tutsis, which it was... They will. So I know one of my auntie married a Hutu man, and this man killed her. But I am committed to keep trying, to keep forgiving when people wrong me, when people are not making the right choices. And that's what really I want to tell everyone that I get opportunity to share with. And that's what I will say. That's what I said when I met the man who killed my auntie. And I was sitting with him. He looked at me. So remember, this is in 2016. And the last time he knows me, it was before, in 93 or 92, I was a baby. So I'm an adult. And he looked at me and I said, "Do you know me?" And he said, yes. He could see me through my grandma, who is his mother-in-law. And so I said, yes, I'm glad you know me. I came here to say I forgive you. The forgiveness is the key to your freedom. That's how I see it. And it's a choice and it's a journey, and it's not easy, but it's the key to your freedom.
There was a witch doctor who had laid this child down, put herbs all around her body, and was about to cut her before the security guard found her and rescued her and brought her to this baby's home where I was working.